Hi, I'm Butch from Barker Enterprises, and today we're going to make a short video and show you how to fix a small hole in the drywall. Perhaps someone at your house has got mad and punched a hole in the wall, or you've opened a door too hard and put a doorknob through the drywall. Well, I'm going to show you how to fix it really quick. First thing you need is you need some lightweight joint compound. I call this 20-minute mud because it dries pretty quick. You'll need a utility knife, a 6-inch putty knife or mud knife. If you have a bigger one, it's even better, but if you don't, the 6-inch one will do just fine. I like to use mesh tape. You could use a regular drywall tape. I like to use mesh tape because it's a bit easier for the homeowner. And a mud pan. You don't necessarily have to have a mud pan. You could use a bucket if you want. So, well, here we go. I made up a little dummy wall here, as you can see. And we're just going to take and make a hole. Okay? So like, oh no. Okay, what I would do is take first and cut. You see this loose debris right here? You want to cut that out and get rid of it. You want to get rid of all that loose debris out of there so your mud will stick to a nice solid surface, okay? After you've done that, you get your mud pan. You take just a little bit of mud. Not much, maybe a handful to fix that hole. You're going to add a little bit of water and you're going to mix it up kind of thick. Okay, we're back. I've mixed up a little bit of mud, and as you can see, I've made it kind of thick. Okay, that way when you put it in a hole, it won't just fall out. Okay, so the key here is to use your mesh tape or your other tape if you'd like, whichever one you have. I like to use the mesh because it's much easier. Cut your little strip. It's got some stickum on it and it just sticks right on. Whereas if you use the paper tape, you have to make sure you get enough mud behind it or you'll create air bubbles. So it's a lot easier to use this. Cut your mesh tape. You make sure it overlaps a couple inches around. And if you don't use tape, what's going to happen is you're going to end up putting your mud in, and then down the road, maybe a month or 2 months later, it's going to end up cracking and starting to fall out. So you want to make sure you either use mesh tape or paper tape. Okay? And you just get in here, put your coat. And when you're spreading this coat, it's not going to cover all the way, but just put a nice thin coat on and let it dry. It'll take about 20 to 30 minutes or so to dry, depending on how hot it is outside or what the humidity is. So try not to leave a bunch of excess around because that's more work you're going to have to do. So just skim coat it real good. Clean the outsides off. Okay, you're going to have to wait. Okay, we're back. It's been, I don't know, about an hour or so, and you can see we're pretty much dry. One thing I forgot to tell you in the first video is you will need a piece of either some sandpaper or, like I like to use, as a block. It's a foam block. It costs about $3 at the store. What you want to do though is just don't sand it too much, just a little bit, just to get the high spots off, okay? Okay, as you can see, we're pretty good there. You can still see the mesh tape just a tiny bit. Don't worry about it. It's better if you put thin coats on it because then you don't have to sand it so much and it'll dry faster. So, okay, what I've done is I've mixed up another batch. This time I've made it a little bit thinner than the last one. Okay, what you're going to try to do is put a thin coat on to cover up the mesh. Don't put too much because if you put too much on, you got to sand it. Yeah, as you can see, it looks pretty good. You can still barely see it, but what we'll do is we'll hit it really light with a little bit more. See if we can't cover that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And don't worry, if you don't cover it all the way, you can just wait till it dries, light sand it, and you can put another coat on. We're going to let this dry for probably about 20 or 30 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll light sand it and we'll finish it up. See you in a little bit. Hi, we're back. It's probably been about 30 or 40 minutes, and as you can see, our patch is really dry. It looks pretty good. Everything's covered really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our block sander, we're going to do a light sanding and see how it comes out. Okay, so you can tell it looks really good. So in our case right now, we're ready to put some primer on here and then paint it to match your wall. But if yours didn't cover quite right, don't worry about it. Just go back to our last step, mix up a little bit of mud, and just put a nice thin coat over it again and wait till it dries and then light sand it. And I guess I hope this video helped you. And if you come back in a week or two, I'm going to make another video. Our next one's going to be on how to patch a larger hole where we have to cut out the drywall, and I'll show you how to put backing in there and mud and tape it. Then after that, I'll make a video on how to do texture, and I'll teach you how to do 4 different kinds of texture. So thanks for your support. Thanks for coming and watching Barker Enterprises, and good luck with your next project.